Sally's leading your new company. Where does that leave you?
I do have exciting news of my own, and I will enlighten you very soon.
Are you digging for dirt on me?
No.
Did Kane put you up to this?
Okay, what's it about?
Audra, there's something that you need to know about the kind of person she really is.
The air in Genoa City is thick with desperation, regret, and the chilling winds of impending chaos. As October 16th unfolds, the consequences of past decisions crash down on our favorite characters with the force of a tidal wave. For one new mother, the search for her missing wife becomes an all-consuming mission that threatens to eclipse everything else. For a matriarch fighting a silent battle, a solitary path leads to unimaginable danger. And in the hallowed halls of corporate power, a shocking confession could dismantle a dynasty. This is not just another day in Wisconsin. This is a day that will redefine futures and shatter lives. Dive into our full young and the restless spoilers for Tuesday, October 16th. Tessa's Torment, a race against time. The joyful, chaotic bubble of new parenthood has well and truly burst for Tessa Porter. The euphoria of bringing baby Aria home has been violently replaced by the gut-wrenching terror of a silent phone and a missing wife. Mariah's absence is no longer a concern. It's a full-blown crisis, and Tessa is at the epicenter of the storm. On October 16th, Tessa's search intensifies, becoming more frantic and focused. She's no longer just making calls. She's retracing every step, interrogating anyone who might have seen Mariah, and piecing together the fragile mosaic of her wife's last known movements. The logical part of her brain knows the police are involved, but the part of her that is a partner, a soulmate, is screaming that she is the one who must find her. This is a deeply personal quest, fueled by a love that is currently intertwined with a potent, sickening fear. We can expect to see Tessa descend upon society, where a worried Sharon Rosales is trying to hold down the fort. Sharon will offer comfort and support, but Tessa is in no state to be comforted. She's a woman of action, and the inactivity of waiting is a special kind of torture. Her conversations with Kyle Abbott will be strained. His well-meaning advice to let the professionals handle it will fall on deaf ears. How can he understand? His world isn't missing its other half. The most heartbreaking moments will come when Tessa is alone with Aria. She'll look into her daughter's eyes and make promises she prays she can keep, promises that mommy will be home soon, that their family will be whole again. These quiet moments of maternal devotion juxtaposed against her rising panic will be a masterclass in emotional storytelling. Tessa is fighting not just for her wife, but for the future they dreamed of for their daughter. Every lead, no matter how small, will feel like a lifeline, and every dead end will be a plunge into deeper despair. The question is, what will she be willing to sacrifice when the next clue finally surfaces? Nikki's solitary struggle, a ticking time bomb. While Tessa's crisis is public and shared, Nikki Newman's is a private war waged in the shadows of her own mind. Her relapse into alcoholism, triggered by the machinations of Jordan and her own deeply buried trauma, is a beast she believes she must face alone. The shame is a heavy cloak she cannot remove, and on October 16th, that shame drives her to a fateful decision. She goes off on her own. Fearing the disappointment in Victor's eyes and the worried whispers of her children, Nikki will concoct a flimsy excuse to escape the gilded cage of the ranch. She'll claim a spa day, a meeting with a charity, anything to get a few hours of solitude. But this isn't a quest for relaxation. It's a desperate gambit for self-control. She'll tell herself she just needs to prove she can be in the world, surrounded by temptation, and not give in. This, of course, is a catastrophic miscalculation. Nikki's journey will take her to a quiet, upscale bar, a place where she thinks no one will recognize her. The internal monologue as she sits at that bar will be agonizing. We'll see her wrestle with the demon, her hand trembling as she debates ordering a club soda versus a vodka martini. She'll justify it in a dozen ways. One drink to steady my nerves. Just one to take the edge off. No one has to know. Victor, ever the protector, will grow suspicious when her stories don't add up. He'll have his security team quietly track her movements, and the report that places her at a bar will send a chill down his spine. But will they get to her in time? Nikki going off on her own is the first domino in a chain of events that could lead to a very public, very devastating fall. Her struggle is a ticking time bomb, and on October 16th, the countdown grows dangerously loud. Claire's calculated move, a new ally in the shadows? In the wake of the Jordan revelation, Claire Grace finds herself in a precarious position. She is both a victim and a potential liability in the eyes of the powerful Newman family. Her attempts to integrate are met with a mixture of pity and suspicion. But Claire is a survivor, and survivors are adept at finding allies in unexpected places. On this day, Claire seeks out a surprising confidant, Kyle Abbott. Why Kyle? He represents a different world, the Abbott world, which operates with a different moral compass than the Newman Empire. He's sharp, politically savvy within the corporate structure, and, crucially, he's an outsider to her immediate family drama. Claire is smart enough to know that she needs more than one powerful family in her corner. She might appeal to his sense of strategy. My grandmother is still out there, she could tell him. And she has a vendetta against the Newmans that now includes me. I can't just rely on one family's protection. I need options. She could also play on his recent experiences with parenthood and loss, drawing a parallel between her stolen childhood and his own journey with Harrison. Kyle will be intrigued. Helping Claire could be a strategic move that strengthens his own position and provides a valuable chip should he ever need leverage against the Newmans. Their conversation will be a delicate dance of shared interests and veiled threats. Claire isn't just looking for a friend. She's building an arsenal, and Kyle Abbott might just be her newest weapon. This budding alliance is a wild card that could have unforeseen consequences for everyone at Newman Enterprises and Jabot. Victor's ultimatum. The walls close in. Victor Newman does not handle threats to his family passively. With Jordan still at large and his wife visibly deteriorating, the great Victor Newman is mobilizing his vast resources for a full-scale war. On October 16th, he gathers his inner circle, likely including Victoria, Nick, and Nate, to lay down the law. The meeting in the Newman Enterprises conference room will be tense and heavy with purpose. Victor's directive will be simple, direct, and ruthless. Find Jordan and neutralize her as a threat, by any means necessary. He won't be speaking in the language of lawyers and due process. He'll be speaking in the language of a patriarch protecting his kingdom. He will make it clear that no expense is to be spared and no lead is too small to pursue. This puts Nate in a particularly difficult position. As both a corporate executive and a man of medicine, he is torn between his loyalty to the family and his ethical code. He may voice a cautious word, suggesting they work more closely with the authorities, a suggestion that Victor will likely dismiss with a wave of his hand. The authorities have failed us, Nathaniel, Victor will thunder. This is a Newman matter, and it will be handled by Newmans. This ultimatum will create a ripple effect, sending Newman operatives scrambling across the city and increasing. On October 16th, during a high-stakes meeting regarding the future of the company's Glissade line, Ashley's facade begins to crumble. In the middle of a presentation, she might suddenly shift in her chair, her posture and tone of voice changing subtly. The confident, measured Ashley might be replaced by the more impulsive, confrontational Belle. She could make a shockingly blunt comment, perhaps revealing a piece of confidential strategy or launching a personal attack against Tucker, who is undoubtedly lurking in the wings, waiting for an opportunity. Jack and Billy will exchange the look of deep concern. This isn't the sister they know. This is the manifestation of her profound internal pain. The most explosive possibility is that, cornered by their concern, Ashley does not revert back. Instead, she might defiantly confess that she is not Ashley in that moment. Belle is in charge now, she might say, a chilling smile on her face. Such a public admission in front of key Jabot personnel would be a corporate earthquake. It would force Jack's hand, potentially leading him to make the heartbreaking decision to remove her from her position, ostensibly for her own good. This confrontation won't just be about business. It will be a tragic scene of a brother watching his sister slip away, powerless to stop it. A day of reckoning. October 16th on The Young and the Restless is a day where the fragile threads holding lives together begin to snap. From Tessa's desperate love to Nikki's solitary battle, from Victor's iron-fisted rule to Ashley's fractured psyche, no one is safe from the turmoil. All paths are leading toward a convergence of crises that promises to leave Genoa City forever changed. The storm is no longer coming. It is here. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, October 16th follow Tessa on her quest to track down Mariah and force her to finally be honest with her wife, while Nikki might actually be getting tired of being told what to do by Victor. It's been months since Mariah, Cameron Grimes, came back to Genoa City with a big honking secret to him. She told Tessa, Kate Fairbanks, something about a mysterious man, Michael Swan, drinks, a hotel room, and sitting in the dark with a pillow. She said she tried to kill him, then wouldn't say anything more. Mariah left Tessa and Aria to check into a clinic. Tessa needed to know exactly what had happened, so she and Daniel went to Los Angeles, where they discovered something about a mysterious man, drinks, a hotel room, and sitting in the dark with a pillow. It was a very productive trip, by which we mean they learned nothing new whatsoever. So now Tessa is trying again, by going straight to the source. She wants to confront Mariah and get her to admit exactly what she did and why that's keeping her from her family. But what if all Mariah wants to talk about is something about a mysterious man, drinks, a hotel room, and sitting in the dark with a pillow? How much longer must Tessa wait? How much longer must we? Nikki Melody Thomas Scott is smart. Nikki is strong. Nikki is independent, and Nikki is fierce. Except when it comes to Victor, Eric Braden. Then it's, yes, darling, and no, darling, and you are so right, darling, and anything you say, darling. Nikki doesn't like how Victor is treating the man who saved her life, Jack, Peter Bergman, who is a 2025 Daytime Emmy nominee. Nikki doesn't like how Victor is treating the father of their grandchildren, Billy Jason Thompson. Heck, Nikki often doesn't like how Victor treats their own children, Victoria, Amelia Heinley, and Nicholas, Joshua Morrow. She doesn't do anything about it naturally. She lets Victor make all her decisions. But what if even Nikki has finally had enough? What if Nikki is finally ready to do what she thinks is right, no matter what Victor has to say about it? Some son's secrets. Sharon Case, called Nick from LA, hysterical that Noah, Lucas Adams, had been in a car accident. But is there more to their son's misfortune than just the Newman children's inability to drive safely? Noah has gotten himself into a bit of trouble on the West Coast. And Sharon and Nick are about to come face to face with it. However, carries a great risk. In his quest to save his family from an external threat, is he blinding himself to the internal one? Nikki's spiraling crisis happening right under his own roof? Ashley's unraveling. A corporate confession looms. Meanwhile, at Jabot, the carefully constructed walls of Ashley Abbott's mind are beginning to show alarming cracks. Her ongoing struggle with dissociative identity disorder, specifically her Belle persona, is no longer contained to private moments. The pressure of the co-CEO role and the constant tension with Jack and Billy are pushing her to a breaking point. The Young and the Restless, YNR, recap for Wednesday, October 15th, reveals that Sharon Case, will panic over bandaged Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, post-surgery, while Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, tells Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, to go home. At the hospital in Los Angeles, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, will find Sharon asleep after waiting so many hours for Noah updates. Sharon will wake up and give Nick the news that Noah is in surgery following trauma to his face and skull, so Nick will fret over possible brain damage. A nurse will eventually reveal that Noah made it through surgery and is in recovery, so Sharon will pray that this is a good sign and ask for a miracle. The thought of losing another child will be too much for Sharon to bear. Nick and Sharon will also talk about the strange circumstances of Noah's accident since he lost control and drove his rental car into a ravine. Noah was driving in a canyon near Malibu, far away from where he was staying, so that'll confuse Sharon and Nick. Furthermore, Noah had been acting nervous and on edge the last few times he talked to his parents. Although Noah seemed upbeat about their visit to California, he was also rather manic when he questioned Sharon and Nick about it. Nick and Sharon will ultimately be allowed to see Noah, who'll have his head all covered in bandages. The sight of Noah will leave Sharon weeping in despair all over again, so Nick will hold her as they process the situation. Meanwhile, Kyle will find Claire in an outdoor area at her hotel, so he'll offer up a bouquet of flowers and tell her about Harrison Abbott's Reading Munsell nightmare. Although Claire will be sorry that Harrison got upset, she'll lash out over Kyle's intrusion and Victoria Newman's, Amelia Heinley, decision to blab where she was staying. Claire will push Kyle to go home, so they'll end up getting into an argument about her trip and Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, serving as her tour guide. Holden will interrupt on Wednesday's YNR episode, but Kyle will push Claire to hear him out since he came all this way. Claire will ask Holden for more time alone with Kyle, so Holden will head down to the lobby for a bit. That'll give Kyle a chance to make another plea to Claire, but she'll make it clear that her mind is made up. Claire will need space and will stand by her choice to let Holden show her around instead of going off with Kyle like he wants. Kyle will assure Claire that he won't bother her again, but he'll plan to stay in LA for a few more days for some meetings. If Claire changes her mind, Kyle will want her to reach out to him. Claire will also take a selfie with Kyle for Harrison's sake before he leaves. Once Claire reconvenes with Holden, she'll assure him that she has no regrets about their trip.